Well, that's a really, really good question. I actually didn't know the band until just recently. The lead singer, Cordelia, she actually died in a random accident. And
died in a
well,
motorcycle
I'm
crash?
actually a waitress at Denny's down the street, and so yes, Denny's down the street, and so they were just eating breakfast, talking about how they needed a lead singer. I've never personally picked up a microphone before in my life, which is
terrible.
very hard to believe. Very
She's
hard.
terrible.
It's
I
not
know.
different.
But it's just kind of a natural talent, honestly. Like I'm excellent at it.
Yeah.
And what? Anyways, I might have spit in his coffee this morning.
She could be such a silly girl sometimes. Don't know what the bad
Over
would do
here.
without her.
We have some stuff to do.
So I don't really know how they all met, but I was their waitress at Denny's. How did you guys meet? Actually, we haven't really talked about this.
Yeah, Nikki and I were on the tube, and we just kind of ran into each other. It just happened,
We were actually in a Starbucks, and he was buying me a coffee because he thought I was so beautiful. And so, what a
Yeah.
sweetheart. We just really hit it off, and then we found our dear friend over here actually on a Craigslist ad.
Yeah, I posted a Craigslist ad for
It was a personal
for
ad.
a band.
He wanted a date.
Yeah.
And
date with
so,
a band.
It wasn't a date.
A date with a band, and so we responded to it.
You wanted a
it's called-
date with a band.
I wanted a date with a band, but like a couple band, a
Right.
2-person band. And
Oh,
And then Nikki and I flew over from Dublin and checked this guy out, and he was just there,
And you know
we
what?
just hit it off
History
and
made
rocked
itself.
out.
How do you guys prepare for your show? What's your like ritual? Like, what do you get into to get in the mood?
I do a lot of drugs. No, just kidding. I don't know. We just kind of sit down and talk about the experience, what we
We eat a lot of candy.
eat a lot of bonbons.
Yeah.
Bonbons, and I personally like a little bit of meditation. Really harness my chi and get me centered and focused.
well, being new to the music industry, I was researching on American Idol, and I saw this one girl. She did a cup of vegetable oil, and she would swallow that before every performance, and it really helps clear up the throat. Really helps moisturize the really helps moisturize the throat and stuff. So that's how I prepare, is by taking a cup of vegetable oil. And you? Over here?
You really swallow a cup of vegetable oil?
No, it's smart. You see, I play the bass, so I soak my fingers in the vegetable oil. She brings it along, I pour some, she pours some, and
We're
yeah.
kind of a vegetable oil
Kind of
family.
pour it on top of my drums.
It's the green
So
way, American
Just
style.
really make them nice. Like,
I'm
When you're not
Italian,
looking,
so
actually
I
put in
like-
your coffee.
I like olive oil.
Tell us about your name.
Vegetable.
Like, how'd you develop it? What happened?
The
That's all
fluffy
girls.
kitten.
That's all the girls. Like, we had nothing to do with that.
well, one day we were just sitting around with we should probably do something good for the community. So we went down to the local Humane Society to volunteer, and she just fell in love with this cutest little kitten in the world.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it spoke to her, like literally it meowed, but
And she spoke back too, so it worked out.
it was
I
beautiful.
could.
It was beautiful, and so from there we just got the inspiration that we just love fluffy kitties so much, especially Jess here, and we took the kitty
They're a bit
home.
loony. Don't mind them.
So where did you guys?
Our new album name, Cougar Town, actually came from our very own Nico. He just came in and Cougar Town came out, and we went with it.
I actually got it from the television show.
Television show.
Yeah, I was just so inspired by the amount of attractive women on the show.
He watches
and,
a lot
you know,
of television for the
I do watch a lot of
He
television.
loves the telly. You can always see him watching it.
every day.
I was just so inspired by TV that we had to name it Cougar Town.
Hi, I'm Ala Kocharian for Video Underground, and I'm here at the Cub with Alan Stone, an up-and-coming artist from Chewelah, Washington, about to hit the stage. So thank you so much for being here with us. I know you were here last year, and you interviewed with Video Underground, so we just wanted to, say thank you for coming back and taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So you've been called kind of the new voice of soul, or a really soulful, refreshing new singer. So how do you react to that? Does that surprise you at all?
It's all lies. No, it's flattering, very flattering. There's a lot of comparisons that have been thrown out there that I'm kind of like, oh, come on, you're setting me up for failure just because those are like incredible singers, and I don't necessarily see myself in that light. But it's extremely flattering regardless.
Yeah, just trying to stay humble. I get it. So, who would you say are maybe your like biggest musical inspirations? Did you kind of just wake up one day and you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna be a musician," or is this something you've been working towards since you were a little kid?
Well, I grew up singing, so I've always had a tune in my throat. But I picked up soul music when I was like 14, 15, and was drawn into it pretty intensely. But I didn't. My town was super small that I grew up in, and so I didn't have ample opportunity to practice with like soul musicians or R&B players or anything. So I really just learned to sing through like mimicking records. So yeah, it was a work in progress, but it was never like I'm gonna do this.
Right.
It was just kind of like I love this music and I want to sing it, and kind of got serious. Yeah, kind of got serious after I learned, I guess.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your hometown and just kind of being from a small town. Do you think that that's shaped you in any particular way as an artist, maybe?
Yeah, I think. Any experience that you go through always shapes you as a human being, which in turn shapes your art. So, I don't really know any specifics as to like, because I grew up in a town of like 1,000 people, my music sounds this way. But yeah, I'm sure it's definitely a part of it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could collaborate with anyone from the past or even now, an artist, who would it be?
There's so many. I would really love to work with Danger Mouse, or like Gnarls Barkley. I think that they're really dope, and he really kills like just about anything he touches. So, he's kind of the current person that I've got my eye on that I would really love to work with. But the list could go on for days. I'd be flattered to work with just about anybody who's not just about anybody, but a large list of people.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool. So I wanted to talk a little bit about your music video, Unaware.
Okay.
You filmed that in your mom's living room, is that right?
Yeah, in my
Okay,
mom's living
cool. I feel like, what's the message behind that song? Because, I'm listening to it over and over. I'm like, oh, is this a love song? Is this about like politics? What is this about? So could you kind of explain the message of that song?
Sure. It's all about politics. I wrote that song I think like a year into President Obama's term, and I think I was about 22 at the time, maybe 21, and his whole campaign was based upon like hope and change. I felt like nothing was changing, and all this hope that my generation had been promoted towards, like, just wasn't happening. And so yeah, I wrote this song feeling like, we pay your salaries, we pay our taxes on time, we do all this stuff. What the hell are you doing? What are you doing for me as a 21-year-old kid whose tuition fees are way too high, gas prices are way too high. If I ever think about having a family, both me and my spouse are going to have to work our asses off in order to provide for them. What are you doing to build up the middle class instead of just the dirty people around you that you shake hands with to get voting dollars for?
Before you were doing music, what were you doing? Any like weird not weird jobs, but what were you doing overall before you started, doing this thing?
Full time?
Yeah.
Well, I started doing it full time basically like right out of high school. I went to college for a year, and then got offered a job at like an independent record label in Seattle, and moved over there, cut a record with the label, and have been doing it like, I've waited tables and stuff to maintain here and there in between, but it's basically been full time ever since I was about 19.
Wow.
So nothing too odd, like I bust tables for a while. I've worked construction, but not like
Something crazy.
not something
Yeah.
crazy weird or anything. No.
So you write all your own songs? Is that how that
Well,
works?
yeah, most of them. I mean, I write all my own songs. I co-write some of them. Or, excuse me, the first record I came out with, Last to Speak, I wrote all those songs by myself. And then this next record, I co-wrote about, half of them. But yeah, I don't sing anything that I don't have a hand in writing.
All the ladies want to know, are you a single man or are you taken? What's your Facebook relationship
My
status?
Facebook relationship status, complicated. I won't say I'm either single or taken.
Yeah, the story behind the sweater. Did somebody knit that for you or
No,
you wear this all the time? I
Yeah,
love
well,
it.
I'm just a bum, so I wear a lot of the same clothes quite often. No, this was this company called Diesel Jeans. They give me a lot of stuff, and this was one of the things that they gave me, and I fell in love with it.
Love it.
It's warm, and I literally wear it every single day. It's kind of awful, but no, I'm a touring musician, so, and I tell this to a lot of people that what's great about touring, that I am like the quintessential hippie bum. If you spent a week with me, you'd understand. The greatest part about touring is that you see new people every day. So I can get away with wearing the same outfit for like 2 weeks in a row and nobody knows. Besides the people in the van with me who are like, dude, you are whack. You need to change sometimes.
I'm Ala Kocharian for Video Underground, and this has been Alan Stone. Thank you.
Well, Pullman, that's it. From everyone here at Video Underground, have a great summer.
I sing, she rock, and he roll, and he cats. He likes cats.
I'd like to thank each and every one of them.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mostly the ones that don't illegally download our songs.
No.
All the other ones just, they suck.
I pooped my pants, my first show. I was so nervous.